Hey everyone, Regal Reviews here. It's a little bit early for a Survivor recap. With there being 7 left in the game, I wanted to take a minute to make my final 3 predictions. So yeah, I can't believe the season's almost over already. We have 7 people left. We have Nick, Christian, Mike, Angelina, Kara, Allison, and Davey. Now, who would I want to see in the final 3? I've said since day one that I think Angelina could win this game. I also would like to see Christian win this game. I feel like if he were to win, it would definitely bring home the theme of the season of underdog versus an alpha. And I would also like to see Davey in the final 3. I definitely had a feeling about him from the beginning. But the question is, who do I really think would be in the final 3? I don't think Allison will be. I don't think she would have a good shot at winning. She seems like she doesn't have much of an edit, and the only thing that she can make a case about the jury is saying that her name was on the chopping block for previous tribal councils and she was able to survive that. So there's not really much to go on there. That's the same thing with Mike. I don't feel like he has much of an edit. I feel like he'd be the perfect person to bring to the end because he would probably be this season's GOAT. So it would come down between 2 people. Kara, the one thing that Kara has going for her is that she does have an immunity win, but also she kind of broke the cycle of that started Millennials versus Gen X when Vicky's game was ruined because of her showmance of Taylor, and then we saw for seasons and seasons these girls who probably would have done well in the game if they hadn't been caught up all in the showmance, and as a result it destroyed their game. So Kara knew that, she was in an alliance with Dan from day one, but she knew that he was a threat to her game to win, and she knew that she had to get rid of him, and she did. So Kara does deserve some credit for that. With Davey, I feel like he hasn't made any enemies out there. He just seems like a really likable person. I feel like the jury would really like Davey. He's made some moves. He has had advantages and found some idols. I believe he's also won immunity, so I definitely think that Davey would have a good shot at winning if he makes it to the final 3. Christian, if he makes it to the final 3, he's winning. I don't know how he wouldn't win if he didn't make it. He's likable. He's also the biggest social threat out there. He knows the game inside and out. He's also had idols. He's also survived previous tribal councils where his name was on the chopping block. And he's also been able to kind of maneuver his way in the game. He's kind of went from this, they perceived in the first episode he was the weakest player. Well, now he's like the alpha, the underdog. Like, he's not even really an underdog anymore. He's become an alpha, or a brochacho. Nick, I feel like, also the same thing with Davey. He hasn't really made any enemies. He's kind of been, I wouldn't say he's a GOAT. Would say Nick is more under the radar. He definitely has a good story to tell the jury that his family, struggled and came from nothing, and now he's made something of himself, and I definitely think he can use that to his advantage. And he's also has found idols. He was part of some big moves as well, so I definitely think Nick could win this if he's in it. Angelina, I definitely think, has a good shot of winning if she is in the final 3. I feel like she's probably the strongest girl out there. She's kind of brought a lot of awareness to the sexism in the game, how women come up with ideas or moves and they're kind of brushed off to the side, or they're ignored and say, oh, this isn't good. But then you'll see next time a guy will come up with that same idea, and they're all for it then because the guy said it and not the girl. And also, too, how if a girl cries out there, she's perceived as whiny and too over emotional, but a guy does that. If a guy cries, he's strong and he's admired. And Angelina's had to fight too. She's had her name on the chopping block quite a bit. Like, I have to give her credit for being able to survive that many tribal councils where her name was on, where she was probably on the bottom of the vote. But she's managed to, and even her own tribe at one point had her name as like a backup to be voted off. So even her own tribe didn't want her out there. But she was able to fight and survive out there and make some new alliances that would benefit her game. So my prediction, I have to go with Angelina. I mentioned before how I thought she'd win. I think that for the final, let me just say the final four, because the whole fire making thing. I definitely feel like if Angelina were to win the final immunity challenge, I definitely think she would bring Mike for two reasons. One, because he's a Goliath and seems like them two have been getting along a bit on the same side of votes past couple times. But also, I feel like that Angelina could beat Nick. Mike. I feel like Mike would be the GOAT and she'd have a pretty good shot at winning. Now, if Christian is able to make it past for these next couple votes, Christian definitely would have a chance of making it to the final three. I also have a feeling about Nick. I feel like he's under the radar so much that people don't see that he's gonna come out and make some big moves. So, and they won't expect him to make big moves because he's under the radar. So I have a feeling that I would like to see Davey in the final three, but I don't know. If he does get that far, I feel like he would be the one to lose the fire making challenge against Nick. I'm saying Nick because with Christian as big a threat as he is, he doesn't have his idol now. So if he doesn't win immunity this time, they're definitely going to get him out. I don't know why they wouldn't at this point. So, yeah, my final three predictions would have to be Nick, Angelina, and Mike. I would have to say it's a toss-up between Davey and Christian. I feel like if Christian's able to make it past his next 2-3 votes, I definitely think he'll make it to the final four, and he'll lose the fire-making challenge to Nick. Whereas, if he doesn't, I feel like Davey would make it to the final four, and I feel like I don't know who would win, Davey or Nick, in a fire-making challenge, so that would be interesting. I would like to see Davey win, because I definitely think he would have a good shot at winning, but I'm not sure. So, I guess if you'll be technical, my final four predictions would be Nick, Angelina, Mike, and Davey, who I think I would want to be in the final four, but like I said, I feel like if Christian's able to make it, these next couple votes, he'll make it to the final four. If not, I think Davey will. So, yeah, comment down below who you think will make it to the final four, or final three, I should say. I hope you guys enjoy tonight's Survivor, and until then, stay regal.